Hello. Today I'd like to speak to that sense of overwhelm as life feels like it's accelerating really fast, and our tendency to feel stressed, our tendency to not take a moment to regroup, which results in lists of tasks going out of control, forgetting things, making mistakes, and basically feeling like we are currently constantly swimming upstream. Does that sound familiar? The invitation is to stick with me for a moment and use this time to dip into your parasympathetic nervous system. That is the one that takes you away from the fight, flight, and freeze and takes you into rest and digest. Okay, so I have a cup of coffee and I'm going to talk to you, and I hope that you are nice and relaxed and chilled and we can have this conversation. A bit of context: I moved back to France in September, and it has been a powerful change in life. There's been many uncomfortable moments, vulnerable moments, and all of the lot. Many overwhelming moments too. I'm not suggesting to go into all of those right now. I want to talk about where we are at this moment. So I am recording this video on the 11th of June, but it's still relevant to whatever time of year you watch it. For the past 2 days here in the south of France, we have had really heavy Mistral winds. It's a colder wind that blows everything. And the sensation as we approach the final 2 and a bit weeks of school with the kids, as we personally have to vacate this house we've been living in so that we can go back to England for the summer and then come back here in September, means that everything feels like someone pressed fast forward, and this wind out there there's a feeling that it's literally sweeping everybody off their feet. The power of air, which can be seen as a good thing and a bad thing, but good and bad can coexist, right? So this wind can change ideas. This wind can take a routine that's rooted and throw it up in the air. And it's not just me that's feeling it. The people I see on a daily basis, I can sense this tension. I can sense this feeling of, I've had enough, I can't do it anymore, I can't cope anymore, I need this school year to be over. And what's interesting is, as of today, we are entering into Gemini season. So for me, the Gemini season is the season of fast-paced communication, and this Mistral wind couldn't come in at a more appropriate time. It's showing us that we need to move on, that we need to up the pace. And of course, we're now heading into summer, which is a season where traditionally we do more. The sun is out for longer, so we have clearer evenings, and we tend to be out more. We tend to be more sociable, and we tend to say yes to more things than we would potentially in the winter or the autumn time, where the seasons would have or would hold us more into a sense of, actually, I'm feeling a bit tired, it's dark outside, maybe I'll just stay in. And of course, with the acceleration of end of school years and all of the things going on, finishing projects with a deadline before we can either go on holiday or whatever, it can just make things very, very stressful. What I am noticing in conversations, and today, up to this point, is that there is this sense of needing to ground, needing to anchor, to reroute. And sometimes that's easier said than done. It's one of those things that we all know that taking a breath is the thing that we need to do. But I have all the things to do, so I'll do that when I have the time. And we don't create the time. And I'm aware everybody's got different priorities, different things in life that might hold your attention. And we also hold within ourselves different operating systems. So we might cope with things differently to the next person. But never mind all of that. If we work on the basis that this whole world holds the opposites of everything. So if you want to talk about good and bad, if you want to talk about stressed versus calm, if you want to talk about peace, and you want to look at the fact that there is war, all of these things are held within that one ecosystem that we live in on this earth. And I'm saying it because we can observe both of those states and try to anchor down and to root somewhere in the middle of it, or perhaps rise up so that we can see that it's all there and find a truth within us where we can observe these opposites and we can choose. We can choose whether we want to live here or whether we want to live there. And perhaps we can accept that we will go from one to the next. Sometimes slowly, sometimes in very quick succession, depending on many things, depending on what you've got going on in your life at the moment, where you're in your cycle at your moment, where you are, etc., generally. And we hear a lot around grounding practices, anchoring practices, but what are they and what do they mean? I'm going with the flow with this, and I didn't want it to be a chat around parasympathetic nervous system versus the sympathetic nervous system, but I feel there's perhaps a little bit of me that wants to go there and say that this constant state of stress that we're in, when the wind is blowing and it's like a whirlwind and it's taking us here, there, and everywhere, that can have its qualities because it enables us to just get things done. But if you pause and take a moment to really feel into, but how is that making me feel? There will be a sense that says, you know what, I can dip into this whirlwind for a little while, but I need to have the ability to come out of it because I can't take it all the time. Because I know that in that, which makes me feel into that fight, flight, or freeze mode, I can't stay in it all the time because it will burn me out. And that's true for everyone. Because inside of our bodies, we have another part of our nervous system which enables us to balance it out, to take a rest from it. And that's our rest and digest system. This is the system which is being spoken about more and more now. The one that we can feel deeply within ourselves, the one that we've watched the videos on, and we know that it might be good to go to a yoga class, to do a meditation and to relax, but actually the implementation of it and the creation of the space to get there takes a little bit more effort. Fight, flight, and freeze is not a bad thing. It's actually very useful to us and our ancestors would need that, because if they had some wild beast coming after them, then they would need a sudden rush of blood to the system and the muscles in order to get away fast. These days, it's not the nasty animal that's running towards us that wants to eat us because they're just doing what they do. It's lists, it's saying yes to when we mean no. It's scrolling on phones. It's keeping our brains constantly on when it too, like our phones, like our technology, does have a pause, reset, restart button. So what I'm hoping is that by watching this, you're already getting that sense that it's okay, and that you can and have the ability within yourself already to tap into that resource. The way that I see it is, in overwhelm, everything is complicated. And so what we want to do is strip that back to simplicity. And I would just ask, what is simple for you in this moment? Like, how can you make time slow down? And it might be something as simple as you've got 3 voice notes you need to listen to, and you know that they're going to be a bit hassly, and you're like, oh gosh, I need to listen to them because I need to get on with the next thing. Right, okay, well, the choice is you don't have to do that in that moment. You've made the decision you're going to listen to these messages. But first, perhaps, if you're in your car, if you're wherever it is that you are, you're going to take a moment to put your feet on the ground, flat on the ground. Ideally, you take your shoes off, but let's be realistic. Say you're in like a real life moment and you're in a supermarket car park in your car, or whatever it is that you are. But you're going to take a moment to relax your shoulders. Perhaps put your hands on your heart, at your heart center, or maybe one there and one on your belly. And you're going to take 3 deep breaths. And these deep breaths, you're going to take them with the intention of just taking space, creating space for yourself. So you take 1 deep breath in right underneath the top palm, and you're going to exhale out as if you're sending everything from your heart all to the space that's underneath your lower hand. And you're going to breathe back in, and the energy from your lower hand will come into this top hand, and you're going to breathe it back down. You're going to do it one more time as you breathe and focus on the space underneath your top hand. And then breathe it all the way back down. This time send it all the way down to the earth, down below your feet, below the concrete, below the mud, below the stones, all the way rooted down to the earth. And you're just going to bask in the moment, this very short moment, and then you're going to release your hands, and you're going to thank yourself for taking that space in the knowledge it doesn't mean that you're not going to be stressed at all for the rest of the day, that you might encounter these moments, but that for now, what you have done is you have chosen you. You have chosen to nourish your nervous system and to temporarily press pause on life so that you could take a breath before you take the next step. How does that feel? Do let me know in the comments, please. I am so wanting to have a conversation with you. Please answer me back if you're watching. I would like to share with you a story about, it's a little riff on the indulgence space, and it's from my book, the Book of Revelation, my first book. Feeling hemmed in and needing space. A memory of old came to mind of a conversation with my harassed, detective inspector. She was the first female head of special branch, spinning a vast assortment of plates in high heels and suits. I shared with her this bonkers idea that I would love to see available the gift of offering women the opportunity to book an empty space just for themselves. There was no clear picture in my mind, though it wasn't a hotel room to rent by the hour. It was more like a room, a place, a space where you were not reachable for however long you desired. And what strikes me was that all this was now years ago, way before kids. I had all the space I desired at that time. Single, my own car, my own flat, whatever. Hashtag independent woman. And I didn't appreciate it. And yet, the oxygen of space was the dream all along before I even knew what it was like not to have it. And is it right that you dream for others what you want for yourself? Because I know that this sentence is irregular in my life. I need space! But what is this? What does it mean? What will I do with this space? I have at times felt a pang of fear about this need of mine for empty space. Do I not love my partner and kids? Does it take me back to all the moments my mother, grandmother, and every other mother through time must have craved for space on so many levels and not had it? Space is not a time to think. It's a time to be. It is pointless applying rationale or logic in that precious space. The space is the space of opening your heart and seeing all of the universe is gifting you right in front of your eyes, right there in that spacious, precious moment. Space is oxygen. And you create all the things from there. And here's another nugget. It's not about everybody else moving heaven and earth for you to have it, but for you to choose yourself, indulgently take it and breathe it all in. And there's your medicine. So wherever you're at in your stage of stress and overwhelm, I hope this space has allowed you to drop from your head into your heart, into somewhere more peaceful and more calm, to give you energy to go through whatever it is that you're about to undertake for the rest of your day, your evening, your whatever. And finally, if you feel that it's too much for you and you like what I'm talking about, please head to my website and see how we can work together. I offer one-to-one sessions. The link is in the description on the YouTube channel. And let's see if we can make things easier for you and take you from stressed to calmer, and how this might just change the feel of your life. Thank you for watching as ever, and I'll see you next time.